Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, featuring your host, Locarthemanbeast. Also featuring me, the LobsterDust. Oh, I'm just gonna fuck myself. Yeah, great. Great. This is how we're starting, huh? This is how we're starting?
Oh, I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
That'll be fucking great to hear on YouTube.
Especially like if you're on their phone, you have like another tab open, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
What up, man?
What's up, man?
Happy Monday, everyone. Happy fucking Friday for us.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope that your week's going great already. I think I hope it's off to a great start.
Yeah, I hope it is. I hope this Monday is putting us in a position where it's no longer 90. Oh no, it is. It's still. Oh, it's gonna be 101 on Wednesday. Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's what I'm hoping
I was
for.
worried. I was worried for a second that summer wasn't done. You know, because that's what I was like. You know what I really want? I really want to
more 100-degree days.
Yeah, just fucking swamp ass 24/7. Oh man, what's new?
Tarkov be Tarkoving.
Dude.
Tarkov be Tarkoving. They did they did a new update where like mortars are now a thing.
Yeah.
That was fun. Me and Will both died finding out about mortars. No clue. Just heard that mortars were going to be a thing, and heard them coming. We're like, oh, okay, let's go check it out. Drops the airdrop. We didn't accept any quests. We didn't like do anything. We were just like, oh, let's go look.
Yeah.
And me and Will are just like bunkered down, just getting shelled. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Scavs are pushing and shooting us. We're at fucking like sniper roadblock right before the bridge.
Okay.
To go over towards like Big Red.
Yeah.
And I'm in that little fucking shack. He's in the Connexes on the other side. Scavs are swarming. We're just getting killed. And there ends up coming like an airdrop. We don't know anything about the airdrop. Like, no fucking way. Oh, they buffed airdrops. Nope. It's just those fucking radar things in the airdrops. It's like, oh, cool.
Oh. So, okay.
Yeah.
So is this an event that's going on right now?
It's an event that is also introducing new things. You will be able to call in mortar strikes, apparently.
Wow.
Okay. The receiver will be something that it also tells you when like mortar strikes are going off.
Okay.
And if it's close enough to a landmark on the bottom of your screen, it'll say mortar strike incoming at like Fortress or wherever, you know. And
which is gonna fuck a lot of people up because there's like community made names for stuff. So it's like, oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's interesting. PvE's also gotten Marathon.
Finally got Marathon, yeah.
Marathon's in there now, and like that style of play, and they have all those quests now.
Yep, I accepted all the quests. I saw all that. I haven't played it all in the past few days. I saw the update. I went in, picked up all my quests. Was like, this is cool. And then I just been watching TikTok with like, mortars are fucking dope, and people just dying to mortars. I'm like,
oh, it's like it goes off. I was running like in front of Fortress, like by my mechanic, and like I could see like you hear like the sounds, like when they get closer, they make different sounds.
Yeah,
and I could see like the explosions. And it's like, okay, like they're over kind of towards like the wall between crack and there. Like I can kind of like skirt this. No, instantly like zoom, 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 and then like it's like zoom, like it sounds like it's going right by your head and just dead. Cool.
Oh, I'm
great.
excited for that.
I love it here.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time in Tarkov.
And it's like once they start kicking off, I don't know if it's just the event or what, but like once they start kicking off, they just go.
Yeah.
They just go.
I've been watching people, like most of all the videos I've been seeing have people just been dying at extracts with like 3 seconds left or 2 seconds left of extract and then just dying to mortars. And I'm like, that sounds way fun.
Fucking. Well, that's the thing. Like if my exfil, like if I'm going at a certain point, they were at like RUAF, like all the mortars are hitting right there. And that's really it, unless I wrap all the way around to go to like Crossroads, you know?
This event was, we're sorry that Partisan doesn't kill rats. We'll just nuke the entire map and hopefully that'll kill the rats.
Yeah. Fucking, I don't know. It's definitely interesting.
I mean,
I haven't played enough to really, I guess, weigh in on it, but
I feel like
that sucks.
I feel like it's an event, then they're gonna do it crazy because it's an event, and then if it becomes a part of the game where it's the same thing with like boss spawns, like hopefully it's not something that's going to be in every map situation, but you know when you hear it, it's like, okay, my extracts are going to be anything that's going to be a covered location, you know, if there is one.
But yeah, Tarkov. I'm fucking ready for spoopy games, dude.
Yep. I think that's the goal this weekend. I think the goal this weekend is just start recording. Get up tomorrow morning, crack acid dawn, get a cup of coffee, and record just dumb spoopy games. And then by the time nighttime comes, sit down and record really spoopy games, and then just start editing it and just putting it together and see what, like I said, I've got so many games that I have ready to rock for spoopy month. Like this goes out on Monday, which is you know, September 30th. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, I want to put at least one spoopy out for the month and start the spoopy month strong with, you know, and then, you know, honestly, whatever the most spoopiest, hold it for the actual Halloween time, the end of the month. Because there's a few of them that are looking like
play with the lights on.
Yeah. Or do it midday because I'm not going to be able to sleep at night, you know. Or what'll happen is I'm just going to end up coming up and we'll cuddle in the same under the blankets together, in the same bed. Was that scary? I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Fucking now you made I feel like you've talked about this at some point, but my girl was like, I want to play like a scary game. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had just like had that in mind, and something that popped up, PT.
Okay.
It was a Kojima game.
Yeah.
And I guess it like was up for a while and then like went away. I don't know like the real story behind it. It was like a teaser for Silent Hill.
So PT was a playable trailer. That's what it was. PT was Kojima and Konami's last little stint before they split. And what it was the predecessor to what Death Stranding is. So it had Norman Reedus in it. It had a bunch of things. PT was the beginning realm of what was going to be a game called Silent Hills. Kojima and Konami were going to remake Silent Hill games in this like fashion. And so PT was this, and this is kind of what spawned a lot of the PT clones nowadays. It's this infinite loop game where like you go through a door and like it rotates you back, and every time that you go through something weirder happens and you have to figure it out. It was so fucking crazy. This is why still to this day for me, Kojima as a game developer is my god. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how else to like describe a man. Like I have nothing but the highest bit of respect for this man. Like I'd worship his feet and his, you know, It's like, you know, where you see like kissing the rings on the king's toes, you know?
You're kissing his hippie toe rings.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. There's no getting around it. Kojima is one of my favorite developers. His games that he has produced are some of my all-time favorite. The way he tells stories, just his interesting topics. I've read his books, I've watched his documentaries. Like, I fucking love this guy. Massive I was gonna say lady boner, but that's not right.
Man boner.
Yeah, it's a man boner. It's a hard man boner for this man. It's just, he's just one of those guys. Anyway, PT was so fucking interesting because, like, yeah, you do the loops a few times and things would change. And you're like, but then it got to like solving puzzles, and there was like weird shit where you like into the mic, you had to say very specific things or shit like that for like the next thing to go on. It was so fucking out there. It was so weird. And this is all on like PS4, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was just strange and bizarre. And what like started off as like, "Ooh, this is kind of spooky," to then being like, what the fuck am I playing? And then at the very end, when you finally get through the whole thing, it was like, holy shit. And then the actual, like, not even a trailer, just like a scene of like you going through like the foggy areas of Silent Hill, and then like Norman Reedus like turning back and looking at the camera, and then it's like cut, it's like Silent Hills. And it's like, what the fuck was that? Brilliant. Anyway, so Kojima and Konami split. They ripped PT, got rid of it. Kojima went and started his own production, and then picked up Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro and a bunch of other people, and Matt Mikkelsen, and created Death Stranding. So anyway, so that's, I think the one thing we talked about is that there's still a PS4, I think, that's busted that has PT on it. And if you, because it's gone, the only way you can even still play PT is if it was still downloaded on your console. And those consoles with PT were selling, at one point, were selling for like $2,000.
So there is a game, I guess you would call it, called Dreams on PlayStation.
Yeah. Dreams is dope.
PT exists within there.
Oh, no shit.
They just released like 2 days ago a 10th anniversary. Some guy's been working on it forever. What? And you can now play it.
No
on
way.
there. I have it out there on the big screen. When we're done with this, I'm going and I'm playing PT with my girl. And we're gonna, I remembered like something clicked, like when I saw it and I was like, PT, I'm pretty sure Trevor said that. And I saw the Kojima and all that, and I was like, I'm like 90% sure this is what Trevor was talking about.
Bro.
So I'm really excited to jump into it. That's gonna be my start into Spoopy. And then I've got Supernatural, Super Normal, like all sorts of different ones.
Super Paranormal.
Downloaded. Super Paranormal, all sorts of like weird ones. There's super normal and super paranormal, and they're two separate ones. And I might have bought the same game with just a title difference, because like it was like this one uses all like AI, like you talk to the ghost to like solve stuff. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
That's a Supernatural one or whatever that we looked at. That it was like, this is fucking creepy. You know what I mean? Like, this is the one that I think will give me the heebie-jeebies. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're supposed to talk to the ghost and the AI just like kind of responds in what you're talking about, but it's like all done in an Unreal 5 engine, and it's just like, that's the one that just talking about. When we were watching the trailer, I was like, oh, dude, like that was kind of giving me the hairs raised, man. So I'm so pumped for Spoopy month. It's gonna be hard, I think, to like knock it all out and get it like not just recorded. Like recording is not gonna be the hard thing, because I know like I have downloaded so many. I know there's gonna be some that are just gonna be duds. You know what I mean? Where you're just that's not gonna be worth anything, you know. But then I know some of them are just to be like, dude, I don't know how we're gonna get through this, you know. But I'm also trying to figure out the time for editing as well, because I want to pump so many of these out this month. I want to have like a good like 2024 Spoopy month collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking of like demonologists, like we're running around. Also, you just see somebody get folded up in midair. Like, ah! Everybody's fucking character running. It's just God. It's some of the most fun.
That's I want to put together a few nights where we do like the group spoopy games again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to play. What was that fucking? So the one of the hard ones is like the ones you have to whisper. So like, remember that game we played? What was it called? Panic Horror? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So just fucking dancing.
Just my favorite is like the dead silence, and you, and that's what gets us killed. Trying not to laugh or say anything.
I think.
Who are you running away? And I see the monster go, and then I'm trying not to laugh, and you see like just the microphone peaks just a little bit, and the monster like peeks its head everywhere. Like, did you say something?
This is the one where I have the recording when we were playing, and like it's so funny because it's so perfect. Like we're in the bathroom, like I think we need to get out of here. Like okay, let's go.
This guy,
yeah, and like as I walk, what the fuck? And you're in the corner. Your character is like staring at the ceiling, and you're just like. For like 5 minutes, like shut the fuck up, man.
Oh my god. That was so fucking funny.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard. The hard part about that though is like we have to figure something out because recording while whispering or whatever does not come through on recording. You know what I mean? Like you have to turn up gain or like get yourself at a certain point because like what would happen a lot of the time is because we were whispering so low, the mics weren't picking up. So you'd hear us be like, I think we don't. Let's go left. You know what I mean? It's like, ah, shit. Okay. So like you know, there's not really much you can do. We're going to have to like, I think we're going to have to dick with it a little bit and then do it. Cause like when I did the Don't Scream game where you had to be super quiet or whatever. I remember I had to crank the mic down in game, but I had to crank my gain up. So like I could whisper and you could hear me, but the game wasn't like registering as peaked over. So only when I went you know that it was like you fucked it up. So I've got it because I've got a couple more of those. You sent me another one that was like stay quiet or be quiet or something like that, and like I'm ready to rock that one too. That one looks a little weird.
Yeah, whenever God, that's the first thing. Like there's like sometimes where like I see a game like I'll pay attention to that. When it's like a spoopy game that looks weird, I'm like I'm fucking immediately closing out and just buying it on my phone, you know?
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Spoopy games are the best, man. Maybe not the best, but the thing about spoopy games is like if done right, they're so good when they have like just like that tension. Like Demonology is a perfect example of being like, you know what your job is. You're just going in, just trying to figure out what a ghost is, putting down a couple stupid fucking items. Oh, he wrote on the book. Okay, we figured that out. You know what I mean? And then you're just running around like idiots. But like that video that we recorded is like, you know, where I got jump scared and then I went to leave and got jump scared again. And I was just like, God damn it, you know? It's like, those are the best.
Fucking fighting the deck of cards. Let's see what's here. Oh, it's death! And everybody starts running for the door.
Yep.
Just
oh my god,
quality content, man.
We're speed running this bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I want to get a bunch of people together and actually do some spoopy games. That would be fucking amazing. And that's like one of those games too where it'll always bring people together. Spoopy games for whatever, even people that are like the most scared of spoopy games are always down to play.
Oh, because it's just so much fucking fun. It's like, I don't know. I think I'd probably play like any of them, I guess, by myself, but it wouldn't have the appeal. But like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. If I would play them by myself, but I mean, the idea of playing it with the group, just how like chaotic and crazy it gets. Like, it doesn't matter how scary or anything it is. It's like, fucking, I want to like, as soon as spoopy games get mentioned, my fucking, my lady boner goes off.
I will tell you though, spoopy games with friends make them way more. I've played enough spoopy games on my own that's like, sometimes it's hard to like.
Oh, it gets creepy.
It's And again, I think this always goes back to like, you know, what you believe in and stuff. And like, I don't really necessarily believe in some of that, but there's enough of it too that you're kind of like, I can't really disprove or play. Like when I was talking like a couple podcasts ago, where I was like the scratching on the door, you know, it's like there's enough stuff that's just like I don't know, and it makes me feel ick inside. That when you're playing a spoopy game and you're like, it's not real because it's a game, but then you're also like, but, you know, and then all your body just is like, this is danger mode. I shouldn't be here. We have to leave. You know, the adrenaline starts to kick up a little bit and you're like, you're starting to sweat. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting in a room that's like air conditioned with a fan. I can just feel my body starting to like leak. It's like, I don't know if we should be doing this, man.
You know, I'm in a fucking room with wood paneling, and I sleep all the way at the other end. I'm gonna have to like go through like those like fucking pocket doors, like through a dark house all the way back over there.
Yeah. See, that's
it's gonna give me the heebie-jeebies, and it's like a new house.
Yeah,
and I'm still not entirely convinced that there's not fucking ghosts wandering my fucking hallways, anyways.
See, that's gonna be the best one too. Is we're gonna get done with spoopy games, and like you're gonna just see the walls breathe.
The wood grain pattern like changing.
See, that's gonna be great too. Is like I would like to record my face for a few of them, not all of them, but a few of them for sure.
What was the one that had the jump scare where your headphones almost came off? That was fucking coffee came out my nose at work watching that movie.
Oh, that was the
that clip,
the Father's Day one or whatever. Yeah, that was that Father's Day because that was the only one I did with my.
Oh yeah.
The first jump scare, like there was a couple times.
Day was fucking weird.
It was weird, man. It was weird. I kept like I was expecting a lot of things, and like so some things didn't really like scare me, but they were still like, whoa, Jesus, you know. There's only two of them that got me. Was when I was climbing up the ladder and the thing crawled at me. I was like, oh shit, you know. And then that one when I was walking out the door and the fucking thing, because it was so loud, my headphones, you know, and that was the one I snapped back. I was like, I snapped my headphones like flew off my head. I was like, God damn it, man. See, those are good jump scares too. Whereas that game wasn't filled with every single moment was a jump scare. It was just creepy enough. But then when the jump scares happened,
there's a lot of weird, unsettling shit.
Yeah,
way in between like the jump scares.
I just wish that game had. I don't know if I actually wish it, but I wish it was a little bit more. Like the story was a little bit more. Like late, I was so fucking confused by the end of it. I was less scared and just annoyed.
Back in time, forward in time.
Yeah,
fucking.
I don't know who I am, what cop. You're in a different realm, but you're in somebody else's memory. You're this guy, but you're this guy that had a kid with a clown. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore. I'm so confused. I want to finish that game too. I haven't recorded the second part of it because I was just so weirded out by it. I was like, I think I'm done, dude. Like I can't. I don't know if
you could have told us that you did.
Oh yeah,
we would have believed you.
Oh yeah.
Like how did the game end? Oh, just like that.
Yeah,
no, it makes sense.
Pretty much.
Like it was so weird and like all over the place.
I mean, it was still creepy though. It was still creepy. I mean, I still like now that I know what I'm doing with Mortuary's Assistant. Like I almost wanted to do another playthrough of Mortuary's Assistant.
Mortuary's Assistant was good.
Mortuary's Assistant is that one. That one's a hard sell to do again because you kind of know the game now, so it doesn't have that fresh creepiness. But I guess there's still enough different. There's so many other things you can do. There's like a key. There's a basement. There's like I didn't even get to fucking putting the right like spells on people because I'm an idiot. I didn't see it in the drawer, you know.
I remember screaming at that one.
When I went back to record it, I was like, or to edit it, I was like, you're such a fucking idiot. It was right there the whole time. Like I was screaming at the edit, like you fucking moron. That was yeah. I mean, but that's the thing about gaming.
So, I'm walking here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's what made it so creepy. I like the end of it. I was like, did I do it? Did I not do it? Like she folds the dude up. I was like, okay, definitely didn't do it. Did not win that one.
Mortuary's Assistant, Demonologist. I don't know. Faz is.
I think the thing about so what I like about Demonologist is it just looks good. right? It looks better than Phaz because it's on a better engine, it's more updated, it's more new. But Phaz has had so much updates to it.
Really?
So many updates, so many new things introduced. There's so much stuff to that game that's like it's almost a, I wouldn't say a new game because it's definitely not. It's the same concept and principle, but like there's enough new stuff in it and cleaned up stuff that it makes it feel like us going back into playing Phaz now would be a completely different scenario. You know?
I mean, I'm game.
Phaz
and
also
every person in the world has it.
So Phaz also has a VR mode.
Nope. That's where I draw the line. No. I don't want any part of that.
So I played once on, I think it was on PlayStation 4 when we had the PlayStation VR. It was it was Paranormal Activity for PlayStation VR. There is something about VR. VR in general for me also is like I can only do so much in VR before I start to get like really, I don't know if it's motion sickness, but I get like almost violently ill feeling after a little bit of VR. Like I can stomach a bit of it. Like Beat Saber and Super Hot are super cool because your character doesn't move. You're just kind of moving with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't affect me. But when it's any game that requires you to move places or move your character around, like, I don't know what it is, but just the sensory of me actually not physically moving, but moving in VR will make me fucking violently ill feeling. Like there was a test I did, like, so I've got the Meta, the Quest, you know, and I got the Walking Dead game or whatever it was, and like while I was playing the Walking Dead, I was like, I'm kind of feeling a little weird. No big deal. So the next day I was like, oh, maybe it's a motion thing. So I downloaded the roller coaster fucking thing because I was like, I'm gonna test this out. And like the first couple of levels of the roller coaster, it's like we're gonna put these weird, like, it's like tunnel vision blinders on your character in game, and if you feel comfortable with that, then we'll ask you later and you can remove them. So like I did the first couple ones with the blinders on and I was like, it's okay. So I took them off and then did a roller coaster without them, and by the end of the roller coaster getting through, I was sitting in the chair like like I was gonna vomit. It was just
it was giving you like for real motion sickness.
It was giving me for real motion sickness. Like
now, what did the blinders do? Did it cut off like top to bottom or side to side?
It kind of did it just made like, instead of like here's your full view, you can look around, it just kind of gave you a box to look through. And it just made it a little bit so like there wasn't a bunch of stuff on the outside of it, because once you take the blinders off, it's just like you looking in real life and you can just look around at shit. And that was the thing when you were doing like loops and corkscrews and stuff, and like you're like tilting and like doing, but your body's not actually moving. There's no like, you don't feel the G-force or like anything, like there's no weight to it. You're just sitting there, but your body's spinning. Your brain's like, we should be upside down, but you're still right side up. You know, like my body was like, I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna vomit everywhere. It was the weirdest sensation. It was so strange because like I remember like I got done, I took the VR off, and like, you know, your mouth starts to like salivate really bad, and like you just get like, oh, are you frozen? Oh, you're back. Okay. Well, Starlink,
it's chugging.
Yeah, Starlink, come back to me. Come on, Papa. Eli's face. You good?
Is it chugging big time?
You look good over here. Yeah,
now you're back.
Okay. But you know how like
when I start seeing like yours get fuzzy, I just try to find a very neutral thing so it's not blatantly obvious that I'm all over the place.
That's a bingo card. Tech issues.
Starlink
tech issues.
Doesn't even count. That's the free space now.
Yeah. Exactly. But you know how like when you start to get like that motion sickness feeling, like you get really like just like clammy, you know, and like your mouth starts to like fucking salivate hella bad, and like I took the goggles off and like I could feel like my ears and my face like becoming pale. You know, I could just feel the blood like rushing. I was just like, yeah, like I was just like, I don't feel well at all. And I had to sit there for like 2 or 3 minutes before I was able to like get up and move around, because like I literally thought like if I stood up to walk, I was gonna puke all over the place. This is the weirdest thing, dude.
I'm just picturing like, you know, those people that like pass out on roller coasters. and they're like lifeless bodies still going along. That's happening to somebody while they're sitting in a fucking chair, like they're like passed out. They come in, but the roller coaster's still going on their head. It's like going right back out.
Just being
it's like this death loop.
Just being the other person in the room watching this person in VR, just like. What the fuck are you doing?
So stupid. You know, it's probably happened.
Oh God, if I felt that way, I can only imagine. You know, it was weird. It's weird. I mean, that's man. I like VR for a lot of different reasons, like space sims and shit like that. Like, I remember playing Elite Dangerous in VR. Or at least having like the VR on when I played Elite Dangerous on the PlayStation. Like, and it didn't have like full head motion and stuff like that, but you could still look around enough to kind of get like an effect. It was so cool because I was like, man, that's what I want to fucking do. Like, I want to play Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous or fucking Everspace or something where it's like I'm in VR flying and like looking
around during the big turns.
I've been watching. I follow some guy on Instagram or TikTok or whatever the fuck he is. I don't remember where I follow him, but he's an ex military fighter pilot, and he plays one of the fighter pilot games. And like he just plays. He's got like a full rig and everything, and he just flies around. And just recently, his chat was like, I think he's fairly new. One of his chat was like, you need to get the VR set up. And so like he had talked to them and they were like, get this, get the Quest, download this, blah, blah, blah. And then he was straight up like you could just see him doing fighter pilot stuff where he was just like full looking around, like in cockpits, like doing fucking turn and burns and just watching this stuff. And like you just hear, and like to a point where it was crazy because he was like, okay, I gotta fucking make this turn or whatever. And he started doing like the, you know, like to catch his breath, and then he was like, "Oh, sorry," and like, you know, like it was just at that point it just became it just became a response to what he was doing, and then like you saw him doing it, and then he was like, "I don't have to do that, sorry," you know what I mean? It's like that's what I want, man. I want that type of fucking,
that's intense,
you know, where you're just like you're so immersed in because that's all he kept saying. He was like, "Oh my god, oh my god." Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I want that immersion when I go into VR. I don't want to sit in a fucking chair on a roller coaster going, I'm gonna vomit. You know,
yeah. I've seen people with like model airplanes, like RC like jets. And they have like little cameras with their FPV things where they do the same thing where they can look. Yep. It's so sick.
Yep.
God. Can you imagine just like fucking knowing you're about to bank a J turn and just like looking back, fucking full sticks back. Just
man, that's a
fucking Tom Cruise.
Man, there is something about flight sim games or games that allow you to do that. Like, you know, I was going to say like Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I don't think that that's a good indicator. That's a great game, but that's literally flying planes. That's not like you just doing dope shit in a simulation. That's like literally like you have to flick buttons and shit before you take off in a fucking jumbo. You know what it's like? I don't want to do that. But yeah. We're talking about like, what is it?
Just flipping everything, sending oxygen masks back fucking back there. Nobody knows it.
You're just on the runway. You're on the runway, your wheels are retracting the plane. Oh God.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I'm doing, you know, because like I watched this guy called, what's his name? Air Force Proud. Air Force Proud is like a huge flight sim dude, and he plays a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and to a point where he was so comfortable flying like Cessnas and stuff like that, he was able to go and get his like pilot's license and get like actual like. Because that's what it's used for. You know what you mean? It's like that was what it was used for in the very beginning. That's what Microsoft Flight Sim started as. It was like just training stuff, and then that's what it's become. And it's got a very niche following, but it is so intense. But he did. He just played the game and then got so comfortable playing the game, he went and got his pilot's license. It's like it's kind of fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And they didn't like oh well, you've clocked in 10,000 hours in flight sim, so well here's your license, go fly a plane. But it was like I think it definitely helped him,
made him comfortable enough to take the step to go.
Sitting in
if you already know the steps, like, oh, I have to start ignition, run this. I know how to theoretically like land. You're just not getting the physical part of it.
Exactly. Well, not only just that, with like, but when you have like a full flight setup simulation, like flight sticks, and when you have multiple different sticks depending on different planes, like I've seen people where they're like, oh, we're flying this type of plane, so I'm going to use this type of handle. Oh, I'm flying a fighter plane, so I'm going to have a center stick or whatever. You know what I mean? Where it's like you have those people that have that different type of setup to when you actually get into a physical cockpit and it doesn't seem like you're trying to learn Latin. You know what I mean? It's just like instantly you look down and you're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Click, 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 click. We're ready to rock. Because as a flight instructor, and you have someone comes like, oh yeah, I've got like 10,000 hours in flight sim. This is what I do for my fucking Twitch and YouTube job. And they're like, oh, okay. When they're like, okay, we need to check flaps. And then you just like, all right, we're ready to rock. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit. And then like you're instantly giving out the correct call outs back to tower to be able to take off. You know what I mean? And without even as an instructor being able to go through the steps of training you at that point, as an instructor, I'd be like, okay, well, if you can take off and put us back on the ground without killing us, I'll give you a fucking license right now. You know what I mean? Like,
it's one hell of a gamble.
It's a gamble
without killing us. We'll see.
Although I sometimes I'll go down weird ass rabbit holes, like the late night rabbit holes with like pilots and stuff. Do you ever see like channels that do the they're like call outs between planes and tower, and they're just always some random shit or whatever, and it's always like some joke or whatever, it's like
they're talking shit back and forth.
Exactly. I get on that, and then that loop of like that algorithm will change into like people that do like fucking landing without gears and shit like that. And it's like, holy fuck. And like, there was one where, what was it? Some training girl or whatever was up, like she was a student pilot on her, like one of her last flights or whatever. And as she took off, like 2 of her wheels fell off. And like, she was like, and they were like, they called out, like tower called out, like, hey, just so you're aware, you lost fucking wheels. And she's like, I'm a student pilot. And then they had to like pull in a bunch of people, and then they had to like talk her down to just belly land at the airport. And she's like, they're like, we cleared the runway, emergency services ready, just keep your nose up. Oh, you're doing good. You're like 5 feet from the ground. Just like, oh, you put it down. You're good, girl. You're good. It'll stop on its own. Don't worry. Cut the engines. It's like that. That's terrifying too. You know what I mean? Like, how do you train for shit like that? Unless you're in it.
That watching it, was that a video you watched?
So it's a recording. It's a recording,
like the audio recording.
Yeah, so it's not like,
man, that shit gives me anxiety. Like watching a video or like listening to like a real like like the audio like that.
Yeah. So like the worst I've ever had, couple weird bad flights I've ever had. When I left Madrid, or no. When I left Germany flying into Madrid's airport, they don't like really tell you this, but it's a short runway. And so I remember looking out the window. I'd fallen asleep for the Germany flight, and like I woke up like probably like 15 minutes before landing. I remember waking up and like trying to stretch and like finally throwing the window open and looking over it. And as the plane was coming down, I was staring eye to eye with some like lady in a minivan. And I was like, what the fuck? And then we were on the runway, and I was like, whoa! Like that was a short landing. It's like it comes over, there's a freeway, then there's the fucking landing. And it was like we were so low to the ground to hit landing, I could see out of the window this lady in a fucking van just staring up. Like that's terrifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. That's like, you have to have railroad crossings to be like plane coming in, like, And then I flew to Hawaii one year. I was going to visit my dad and was like storming out or whatever. And as I was landing, like Kona Airport is all it's all outside. There's no terminal. The terminal itself is all like you get off the plane on the tarmac, you walk through like everything. It's all open doors. There's nothing interior. And so we were coming in from a storm. And so like what ends up happening is you go when you're flying into Kona, depending on which route you go, everything's the same. You go around past Oahu and then you cut back on Kona sign and then you land in. And that runway isn't terribly long. You know what I mean? It's long, but it's not long. It's, I don't know what the footage of it is. And we were in a fucking heavy windstorm. And because the way it works is Hilo side's the backside of the island. That's where all the fucking storms and everything hit. And so it blows down into Kona side, but they miss all the winds. But as you're flying in, all the wind pushes around the island and catches everything that's coming. So like
your plane's just
so there's turbulence the whole time, and like the captain's on the flight, like, you know, hey, just so you're aware, it's gonna be a bumpy landing. I want everybody to be buckled up and sitting down. I'll put you guys on the ground. Don't worry about it. But we're gonna catch some bad tailwinds. It's like, all right, cool.
I'll put you on the ground. We know that. How are you gonna put us on the ground?
The dopest thing about it is like if you miss the runway, it's all ocean. So you know, it's like probably the softest part of the landing. I remember we were coming down and like you're looking, you know, you're sitting there and you're rocking and you're looking out the window and it's, you know, it's a sunny day. Well, not sunny, but like it's daytime that I'm landing. And so you're looking at the island and then all of a sudden you're facing the runway. And I was like, this plane went like this coming down. And I'm like, and then right the last second pulled it back and like, I was like, I want off this fucking plane.
One of those big like where
it was literally like I was looking at the runway and then I knew we were heading back the right direction and then the plane hit the ground and was like brr, 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 and then we stopped and I was like I want off the fucking plane right now. And like it's one of those ones where, you know, a lot of people will like clap and cheer when the plane lands. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, have you ever flown before? But that time people were like it's like, no, absolutely, man. But like the captain came out and like as people were getting off the plane, he was like, "I'm so sorry." You know, people are shaking his hand. You know, it's like, you know, they're holding their babies up for them to get kissed. You know?
On the next one.
Yeah, have fun in Hawaii.
Fucking, gotta be a good feeling.
I mean, he was probably at the same point, right? He probably did the thing like, I got it. Everybody's off the plane. He's just like, you know?
He's in there fucking sweating like Samuel L. Jackson in Die Hard. Just fuck.
Oh, man. I don't know if I could actually. Okay, there's that. Could you land a plane?
Yeah,
right. I think it's a man thing. I think it's just a man thing. So it's a conversation that popped up a while back. It was like, you know, men think very specific things or whatever. Like if given an opportunity or in a situation that needed to, they could land a plane. I felt like I could land a plane
safely.
I mean, I get the concept. I don't know if I can.
We'll touch Earth.
We'll be nose first, but it's in.
I think. Do I have air traffic control trying to talk me through it?
I think that's the conversation.
Like I'm coming up on it, and they're like, "Okay, you need to. If they can walk me like through like the flaps and stuff."
See, exactly.
I think I could.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. If there's
because I understand you have to come in. You have to like kind of like burn off some of that speed and glide down. You have to come in like nose up. I have actually taken off and landed a plane before. When I was like 14, 15, my dad took me to go to like Placerville Airport and I took some flying lessons because for some reason he wanted to buy a plane.
Okay.
We never did.
Then you're out of this conversation because
it stopped and ended after like 2 lessons, but it was cool.
Yeah. I mean, you've actually physically touched the pedals and everything then. So like there's
that's a really weird part because like the pedals are like stop go. It's like left, right for like the rudder and stuff like that. But it was just like a single engine Cessna.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who has never been in a cockpit of a plane, I'm trying to think of the concept of like let's say I did have traffic control or anyone being able to
okay. People say it's a guy thing. Guys think this, guys thinks this. The majority of guys have played enough video games that we've probably flown something at one point that has given us more than just like a fucking, we understand, because even in like flying games, like the inversion of like the controllers and stuff, that's like almost like a default.
Sure.
It's like, okay, pushing in is going down, pulling up is going up.
Yeah.
We kind of get that. And especially like somebody
turn
like
is going to rotate.
If you played fucking Star Citizen with like the pitch and the yaw and everything like that, like if you understand that, I think you're well ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I think the idea
some dumb fucking bitch who just fucking like got my nails done. Fucking manpower, bitch.
I definitely think like it also comes to the size of the plane. If we're talking about like, a 757 or something, it's like where it's like you literally have to drop flaps to like cause enough drag to slow a plane that's going 800 miles an hour. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna need some instructions. You know what I mean? I'm going to need some like real guidance on like what I'm touching, because if you're just telling me to get a plane that big to low, like to back down under fucking
planes probably do most of the work for you at that size anyways.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly, except for that's what was it? Boeing had an issue with all their autopilots that were just crashing planes because there was bad coding in it or whatever.
Not my fault at that point.
That's exactly right. I did my best.
Yeah. You want me to be? You're telling me you want me to be the hero and turn off autopilot and all that shit? You want me to do that? Think about it.
But if I had to be in a smaller plane and I did still have like enough, like someone was no one was telling me anything.
In a small plane, you could do it.
In a small plane, I could 100%. Even like a twin engine, I could probably put it on the ground. To a point where like there's enough stuff labeled that's like, okay, I'm down to a low enough point. I've caused drag. I felt like I'm slow enough and I'm not stalling. I've throttled back enough to know that I'm like gonna be at a certain point, and all I need to do is keep lanes in line and like get slowed down enough that I can hit the ground and pump brakes. I could probably do that. You know what I mean? Safely.
No helicopter.
I mean, what is a plane crash? A plane crash. This is the definition of a crashed plane: is any plane that cannot take off again after landing. So I don't have to kill everyone, but if I fucking put it on the ground and bust a bunch of wheels that can't take off again, that's considered a crash. I'm still considering that a win.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm considering it a win if somebody who didn't have their fucking seatbelt on fucking dies from getting jettisoned into the next person.
As long as
I have a 51% survival rate of all my passengers, I'm good.
As long as my half, which is the cockpit of the plane, still exists, I'm cool. I feel like I would bounce though. I felt like I think I would hit hard. Like the people that land planes hella smooth, like come down and it's like you don't even feel like all of a sudden you're just like and you're slowing down. It's like I was butter.
Yeah, know? You're gonna bounce, but
it's like you'll bounce to take.
I was gonna say I'd rather bounce and like kind of dish some of that off than like try to come in, and then I'm running out of runway and I haven't actually like fucking touched.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a big one too. I feel like I would short it up. Like I'd be like, I'm gonna try and get on the ground as soon as I possibly can at the runway, versus like I'm gonna shoot for mid lane or whatever. It's like, no, I'm gonna put it down as early as possible, because if I fuck this up, I want enough space that I can maneuver something to if I gotta throttle back up again and try to take off.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Easy.
The more this vodka kicks in, I can land it like fucking like Sully.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm coming in upside down and then fucking. What was that
drunk?
Guy? What was that guy's name? Sky Captain or whatever? Not the movie. The Skylord. Yeah, it's a sad day. Pour one out for the homie.
Fuck, dude. I just like a month ago watched an entire his like the documentary with the full transcript, or the full like audio of him talking. God.
It's such a sad fucking documentary too, because like at the end, like you can just hear like him just talking, like, and you just know that this is like game over or whatever. And like air traffic control, the dude he's been talking to is like, I don't know what else to do at this point. And he just kind of stops responding and he just keeps talking, you know?
Do you think thieves could do a barrel roll? I'm gonna find out. Like fucking, he's like, okay, you were 9 feet off of the fucking water on that one. He's like, I still did it. Oh man,
bad. And then he put it into the earth.
What a fucking Chad, though.
I mean, yeah. So taking off seems relatively easy. Getting in the air seems relatively easy. Keeping in the air seems relatively easy. Getting it back on
relatively.
The ground, yeah. Getting on the ground seems like it's the tough part.
Yeah.
Do you think that was his thing? like the thing he was talking like during this when he was talking to air traffic control. It's like, so what are you planning on doing? You want to put this down? It's like, well, I hadn't really thought that far ahead. I don't think I'm putting this thing down on the ground. It's like, he's like,
nah, that guy.
That guy had a death wish.
Yeah. Sad. I bet you. I'm sorry. He pulled off 3 barrel rolls, like just at fucking low altitude.
Yeah.
I think he probably could have landed that plane.
Oh yeah.
But the consequences and whatever the fuck else drove him to just steal the plane in the first place that was going on, whatever was going on there, he knew that was his last hurrah. He was going out like a Chad.
It feels bad when you talk about those type of things when you get to the that people that are at the end like there and do something fucking crazy like that, like the dude with the tank that drove into the bank or whatever it was, Killdozer. Another one where it's like,
God, another one.
You never really think about it, and that aspect was like, because their life was so miserable and they were at the end of their rope, and that's fine. It's understandable. Shit happens and people are at points. But it's like, going out in that type of way as a legend, man, you're right up there with the Bambino at that point.
Legacy.
You know what I mean?
Legacy. God.
Were you in the group chat? I think we were talking about it the other day. Did you see fucking scalper sites already have opening day for the A's at fucking $800 for nosebleeds?
In fucking Rayleigh's Field, no less.
I've been seeing Rivercat.
$800 for the lawn.
I know. Dude. So the thing is again, those are the scalper sites, right? There's no tickets available. You can't even buy them through MLB, right? So what they're doing is they're saying we're gonna pre-sell all those tickets, which mean they are guaranteeing sales of not guaranteeing, but they're preemptively at least attempting to guarantee those tickets because they're gonna get a few of them, if not a lot of them. There's not a lot of space at Rayleigh Field, man.
No, I was gonna say, as like, I don't know if shitty is the word. Yeah, shitty. As shitty as it is to like an MLB team to go there to that to be their field to play on. As a fan, that's the fucking sickest.
Oh,
you'll never be closer.
No, you
like no matter what you pay.
Very true. Very true. I mean, and not only that, but like home. This was something I was maybe as a comedian was talking about it. It was like, think of football. Football is as specific as it can potentially be. Baseball, inner field is as specific as it can be. Outer field, every stadium is different. Yankee Stadium is like 120 feet smaller than any other stadium or whatever it is. And they're like, well, this is why the Yankees are so good. It's like, no, because their stadium is fucking smaller. They can pop the ball farther. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like they're making home runs all the time, but it's because it's like 100 and some odd feet smaller to hit outfield or hit the home run spot. It's like, it's weird how that's like not a regulated thing. I also think it's just because most stadiums are so old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Like
Fenway Park, fucking Park. Wrigley.
Yep. They're all so fucking old. I mean, even the Coliseum in itself is so fucking old. You know what I mean? I mean, the Coliseum is not a bad stadium. It's probably bigger than most of them only because they shared it with the Raiders for so long. So 50% of that stadium is also set up for football,
That one makes me sad.
Yeah, did you see them like scooping the dirt and like filling people's like fucking bottles and stuff? Oh man, that's it.
God, I would pay so much money. I might actually look
for a bottle of dirt.
No, people were fucking like, they weren't supposed to, but like season ticket holders brought tool sets and were unscrewing the seats and taking their seats with them. God, that'd be fucking cool.
There was an old dude that was like holding the sign that was like, I was here for the first pitch in 1986 and I'm here for the last pitch in 2024. Like, dude, that's so sad, man. I grew up in that stadium. You know what I mean?
I know.
I literally grew up in that stadium. My grandmother's house is in Alameda, fucking, a hop, skipping, and jumping away from there. And like, I saw the A's and the Raiders play my entire childhood. And like, it's just gone. And people are like, why aren't you a Raiders fan anymore? It's like, they're not the Raiders. You know what I mean? It's like, am I going to be an A's fan when they go to fucking LA? It's tough. I mean, A's are really good right now anyway.
LA, Vegas.
I mean, who cares? I mean,
if they go to Vegas, I don't know. I guess that's up in the air too.
I think they are because they're.
I think they are too,
especially because
too much money there.
Well, it's not like the Raiders are doing well enough to make up for it. So they build a new stadium, that's fine. But if they can do the same thing with the Coliseum,
they don't care though. It's the same shit with like Raiders games. It's like nobody really. The Raiders don't even have to do good for the tickets to sell because casinos will buy them to give away as like comps and shit like that.
Exactly.
People want to like go in for a weekend and base a weekend like, oh, we can go gamble and go see an NFL game, like shit like that.
Not only that,
the same thing.
The fucking Raider Nation is almost as bad as the fucking Patriot people. The people who are Patriot fans. You know what I mean? Back when, like, yes, absolutely.
Not even close.
They're, Brady is a goat. You know what I mean? Like that whole fucking.
Because the Patriots had like their fucking run of like, oh god, dynasty, and they have all the bandwagon fans. Raiders stick around and scream Raiders. You guys are fucking 0-16 for a season. There's a big fucking difference between there's Patriots fans. I'm
saying the mentally challenged the both.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They're the same people in that aspect. There's there's one that is just dumb for dumb reasons and there's one that's dumb for a different reason, But it's like,
oh yeah.
It's like when I see those fucking cars drive by and they just got fucking Raider flags and everything over. It's like, I know you're diehard, but you're diehard for some of the wrong reasons, man. Because if you're only there for a logo,
those are the kind of people that fight you in traffic for no reason.
I've watched I watched the Raiders. I went to a Raiders game. It was Raiders Green Bay Packers, and Raiders lost to Green Bay some fucking god awful amount. I don't know. It was like 20 points or some fucking unrealistic number at that. And they just played like shit. Raiders were leaving the Coliseum like they won the fucking Super Bowl. They were fucking cheering and jumping. Any person that had green on, like towards the end of the game, the whole stadium was like, silver and black everywhere. It was the dopest fucking thing ever. And it was Dolphins. I think it was Dolphins. And so you'd see these little spots of like white and blue all over the stadium, right? As the game was coming to an end, we're getting fourth quarter and you knew Dolphins were fucking walking away. All of a sudden, white and blue jerseys started disappearing. People were taking them off. They were hiding them and shit like that. I was watching people walk out to the parking lot, shithouse fucking Raider fans. Any person that was a Dolphins fan was just getting pelted with shit. People are fucking shoving them.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, it is a dangerous play. You cannot be a fan of anyone else, let alone like a Battle of the Bay. Oh my God. That's some of the most dangerous times to be in.
Let's fucking go.
It's so dope to see, because as big of fans as Raider fans are, Niners fans are just as bad, right? And so when they're in the same location together, it's like it's like Crips and Bloods, man. It's just like you're not supposed to mix those two.
Fucking, we were at we saw like a 3-game series. We went night game, day game, night game, and we stayed down in Oakland. And Slaughter came and he was a Dodgers fan. It was Dodgers versus A's, and it's like we're like talking shit, but like there was like a group of like 12 of us. And we're like talking blah blah blah, and like some other guy was in front of us, and he was like a Dodgers fan, and he was kind of chirping like at what I was saying to Slaughter, and he's like, oh, blah blah blah. I was like, listen, buddy, like, I know we don't have a fucking chance at playoffs. If it gets you to stop the Giants, like I'll tell them to throw this game. Like I have that kind of sway anyways.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh yeah. Then the Giants like, yeah, you guys aren't going to the playoffs. I was like, nobody fucking was talking to you, you motherfucker. And then the Dodgers fan, yeah, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit. You know, like, every single person, no, fuck you, fuck the Giants, you fucking piece of shit. Like, it's one guy like, puts his ass down, starts walking away.
And see, that's what I'm gonna miss. I don't know if you're gonna get that same. I mean, you'll get that same thing anywhere they go, but like, it's not gonna have that same meeting.
No,
Oakland,
you lost all of your rivalries. You lost all of that fucking.
You lost just the
Bridge series,
the history. You know what I mean? You lost all of that. You know, and Mark Davis for the fucking Raiders is so goddamn, like, his dad wasn't great. He's not great. It's like, dude, you're just fucking, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And it's like watching the Raiders now that they're not Oakland team, they're not my team anymore, right? They're not my team, you know, that's fine. And watching them like consistently lose, it's like, I'm okay to not be a sports fan anymore. Because it's kind of how I've like, probably in the past like 5 or 10 years, I've just gotten to the point where sports just don't matter the same to me anymore. I don't have that type of sports commitment. And a lot of it is also because like, I'm just so sick of that idea of needing to pin two people against one another because you support different teams or whatever, you know? It's just like, it feels sick. It's the same thing with like, when it comes to like politics or cars or fucking, you know, music and shit. It's like, everybody's got their own preferences. But then also watching the team that you've like supported for so long losing, and you're just like, they're not even my team anymore and they're still shit. Like, I'm okay. It's like, I'm okay. Like, and I'm not going to I'm not going to bandwagon now. You know what I mean?
Except for Giants fans. Like, just fuck them. Dude, fuck them so hard.
Man. That's why
there's a lot of times where I'm like, why can't we all like be like blah blah blah? But then somebody like brings up like the Steelers. I'm like, but fuck them, dude. Like, fuck them and fuck their families. Like, I hope a fucking meteor takes out their whole fucking city.
Man, I was raised so I'm fucking B-town boy. You know, you know what I mean? Like I was raised East fucking Bay for my entire life. So there's just like something in my brain that's like, even when I go to the city, I'm like, man, I haven't been here forever. And like I step into San Francisco, like, place shit. Like, it's like, well,
I fucking hate that place.
Let's go to Jack London Square in Oakland and get robbed. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, yeah, I'd rather be fucking anywhere in the Bay. Like, I've literally, like, when we went to go pick up like Janica's dad, like we're going down, and I'm like, I fucking hate San Francisco, and she's like, why? It's so blah blah. I was like, I hate everything about it, and like we're going through the traffic. I'm like, God, it is pretty. And then we cross the fucking bridge. We're in San Francisco, and you're just like stopping. Like, nope. Yep. See, I fucking hate this place. I fucking hate it. I hate that fucking person right there to the next to me. And as soon as like I'm across the bridge, everywhere around it, it is pretty, and like the weather's so nice.
You go North Bay, man. You go up to like Mendocino County and everything. All of a sudden, you're like, man, this fucking place.
Fucking hate San Francisco itself.
Dude, it's also shitty too, because like the part of San Francisco that I love is what the culture brought. You know what I mean? Like, I love
it's all gone.
It is. I mean, the only thing left out there is homeless poop patrol and fucking high tech.
I think that's the fucking probably like the saddest part. You know, because it used to be like a place that you could go for fun up until pretty recently. You know?
Yeah, probably say last 20 years is when it's like all really declined.
Yeah, probably like 2015, 2016 is when I started being like, I don't think I want to go there.
I used to, when I was a kid, man, I'd ride my bike down to South Shore in Alameda, right? From my grandma's house, I'd go down to South Shore in Alameda. I'd pay $5 on a ferry to take me over to like Mission Street, because that's where the ferry dropped off. And I'd have my bike and like as a kid, just mob around fucking San Francisco.
Can't do that anymore.
Hell no. Hell no. My dad.
You wake up in Turkey getting your butthole turned out.
That's exactly right. I mean, I'm sure back then I probably would. It was a fat little Asian kid. They're probably like, nah, he's good. He's cool. Let him pass. He's not going to sell for much.
They shut down Fisherman's Wharf too.
I heard. Well, I don't know if they shut down Fisherman's Wharf, but they've like closed a bunch of points in Fisherman's Wharf.
Well, most businesses have closed up and opted for other places, which is insane. That was a huge tourist place to go to, you know?
I mean, Fisherman's Wharf has always been a shithole, but it's like my shithole.
Yeah. There's a lot of memories on Fisherman's Wharf.
I'm fucking 35 years old.
Best clam chowder in the world.
Oh my God.
It was all right.
It was shit, but I'll eat it. I'll eat it. But
would I go there for clam chowder in a fucking sourdough bowl? Yeah.
I'm going to go and get the sourdough bowl. I'm going to stop off at the candy shop and get some saltwater taffy. I'm going to hit the fucking carousel, and then I'm going to go walk down the street and go hit Ghirardelli.
Not anymore.
No. But
I'm gonna step in shit. I'm gonna step in more shit. I'm gonna get stabbed by a needle probably.
Yep. It's a weird.
I'm on my first Fed trip. Let's go.
And now I have hepatitis. Bay is a different beast. I think if you're in the Bay still, you're in the Bay for work. You're not in the Bay for being in the Bay culture. You're there because it pays you a shit ton of money. I mean, but he also doesn't live in Bay Area. It feels shitty because people from fucking like Stockton are like, I'm from the Bay. Like, don't bitch, you're the Delta. Like, you know what I mean? But like, even people, you know, it's something. It's like an idea. It's like when you look at where Aaron's at, because he's closer to the San Jose side of things. It's like,
yeah, just dox him. Give his full address.
You know, yeah, 7183. No. You know, once you get past the Palo Alto side of things, it's kind of like, I don't know what that is anymore. You know what I mean? Man, even San Mateo area is like, you're really cutting it close to being like, this is kind of the cutoff, you know? San Mateo is fucking wild right now. I'm just, like, I can't believe I lived there as long as I did, but like 2-bedroom apartments are going for like $3,800 a month. I don't know how. I'm like,
it's
Hillsdale. It's in shit area, you know.
I remember last time I went to an A's game, there was a we are hiring sign on a Panda Express in Oakland, and a managing position was starting at $120,000.
Yeah,
at a Panda Express, and it's like, what fucking kind of monopoly money are we playing with? Where it's like, okay, well, the cost of living is this, so we have to pay them this, so you make this here. Like, it's fucking insanity. Go anywhere else in the world, you're not working at a Panda Express and making that much unless you're like owning it.
That's also why Sacramento has gotten so fucking expensive over the years. So what's happening is like all the people, especially this happened a lot during COVID time. COVID time was the worst fucking thing that ever happened for Sacramento housing market, because what was happening is that all the people in the Bay Area that had to be there for work were finding out that their companies were like, yeah, we actually don't need people here. You can work remote and still do your job. You know what I mean? And you're not terribly far that we would have to, like, if we really need you, come down. We're not like at a point of being like, oh, you have to fly across the country or whatever. So a lot of people in the Bay Area, like tech jobs and stuff like that, like our buddy Mark, was moving out of the Bay Area because he was like, well, I can't afford it, but it's fucking cost me an arm and a leg. So people that were spending $3,800 a month on rent were moving to Sacramento, where Sacramento rent was like $1,600 a month. And so they're capturing all that. Well, people in Sacramento fucking property management or whatever was like, well, if we increase the rent to $2,800 a month, they're still saving $1,000 a month, and we can capture it. They're going to see it as a deal, and they're going to pick this up. But all the people in Sacramento are like, yeah, but we were only paying $1,600 a month or $1,700 a month. We can't afford an extra $1,000. So now people in Sacramento are moving out, or they're just going to like shittier places, or because properties aren't capturing that amount of money because they want to capture more of it, they're keeping people in, like, you know, the people aren't moving out, they're just renewing. And then Sacramento stopped with like, oh, well, we'll just make sure that there's like a rent cap, so it's only a 10% increase on renewal. These properties are not just failing, and everything that is like affordable still in Sacramento just looks like shit. You know what I mean? Because there's just no money invested in it. It's so fucking toxic, dude. It's like that's what high money bred. You know, I used to hear all back in the day when I was a kid was that the only thing left in the Bay Area at a certain point will be the rich and the homeless.
Yep.
And that's what it is. I just started an Oakland project. This fucking company that we work for is trying to take an Oakland property that's like at the cusp of Oakland Hills. Like you go down the road and you're in like downtown Oakland. You know what I mean? But you're right at the edge of where Oakland Hills start. They're like, we're dumping $2 million into this property and like we're picking it up. And it's been a rundown property for the longest time. And now they're doing all this crazy shit. And then the rent is going up to like fucking, it's like it is $1,700 or $1,800 a month or something like that in Oakland. And now it's going up to like $2,600, $2,700. They're like, oh, we're gonna make this so nice. And it's like, who the fuck is who are you renting to? Who's like, you know what we should do? Let's move to Oakland.
Yeah.
It's like people, you know,
somebody who's never heard of Oakland.
That's exactly right. Or the people like, oh, I have to be here because my job is paying so much. Like, but I can't really afford the next stuff. They also are telling me they picked up a property in Sausalito. It's a 39-unit property right on the edge of the water. Like you could sit out on your balcony and fish from the fucking balcony or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. They're like, yeah, we picked up this property. We're putting $15 million into it to renovate because they wanted us to go up to do some bidding for it. And I was like, okay, we'll go and take a look at it. They're like, yeah, our projected rent for this property is, what do they say, $15,000 a month. And I was like,
who rents for that?
Well, I misheard it. I was like, that's too low. 1,500 for that area? Or did you mean 2,500? And they're like, no, 15,000. And I'm like, that's what I went to say, are you fucking stupid? And like my boss was like elbowing me, like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We're just trying to get a job here. It's like, all right.
Yeah. You know, we'll build your 15,000 a month.
So we got in the car and I was like, are they fucking retarded? Like that means rent alone per year is what, $160,000 or $180,000 a year?
If you're making that much, you're buying.
That's what I said. That's what I said. And not only that, it's like you have to be making well over $500,000 a year for something like that to be even remotely affordable.
Yeah. That's insanity.
Who are you fucking renting to? Because I could see somebody be like, oh, we're going to rent a place, like, or have a place where we're going to do like, or Airbnb, or like this will be a vacation spot. But again, if you're making that type of money, you're just going to buy a place that you can show up to. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a fucking chaos. It makes no sense to me.
BlackRock.
I hope so. I hope that's what it is, because I mean, just look, as long as you pay me, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I sure as shit will not be one of your residents that live there. So he was like, yeah, I mean, most people can't afford it. It's like, and all I wanted to tell him was like, no one who could afford it would afford it.
It's going to stay vacant,
and
buddy.
It's going to stay vacant. You're projecting $15,000 a month. I give it a year and a half and those units will be fucking $3,500, $4,000 a month. You know what I mean? Because people are going to be like, yeah, we're not going to rent for that. Unless you're like, you know, unless I wake up every morning, I'm being fed grapes and getting a blowjob. I'm not fucking renting an apartment for $15,000 a month.
Yeah.
The world's fucking cruel, man. Filled with greed.
Just insanity.
All right, let's wrap this up. Good talk,
everyone. Have a
everyone.
great week, everybody.
Yeah, man. Have a great fucking week. It's just one more. I would suggest talcum powdering the balls. It does help quite tremendously during the heat. And swordfish. All right, we're out of here. Bye-bye.
Bye.